Welcome, denizens of the internet. We are Grin and Barrett.
Hi, I'm Macy, and I'm drinking water, and I'm dressed up as Miss Frizzle tonight.
Hey, I'm Knuckles, and I'm finishing a fruit punch from Arizona, and I'm dressed as Claire Deering from Jurassic Park. Jurassic World! Jurassic World! Came out in 2015.
Hi, I'm Iris, and I'm cosplaying Poison Ivy, and I'm drinking a strawberry lemonade with vodka out of a Batman mug.
Yum.
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm dressed as Loki, and I am drinking peach vodka mixed with tropical blend soda.
Ooh, fancy. That's more fancy.
You always have
super fancy.
You always have the best drinks.
Well, when you're allergic to traditional soda, you find all the random ones.
Makes sense. You're like, I'd like to, not die.
I've had so many issues with people thinking I'm drinking alcohol because I'm drinking a fancy soda that comes in glass.
Ooh. Well, tonight we're cosplaying because we were talking about conventions. This is part 2. So we're going to talk about, instead of the plus side, we're going to talk about the ConCon side of cons. So
the wrath of con, if you will.
The wrath. Most things are good, but there are some bad. Let's be real. As someone that goes to conventions in not as many clothes as you would wear on the street normally, I have to say that the first thing that's on my mind about this is cosplay is not consent.
Period.
Just because you see somebody dressed up like a character that you like, or not wearing any clothes, or wearing all the clothes, doesn't matter. You can't go up and touch them. You can't go up and accost someone because they're your favorite character or your least favorite character, or whatever. Mm-hmm. You still have to treat them like a human because they are still a human.
And always ask for permission if you're going to take a picture. Don't be that creep. Just don't. It's awful, and it makes the person that you're taking a picture of, if they find out, really, really upset. And it feels degrading.
But on the internet, randomly, is very disconcerting.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I think most people would be like, well, yeah, obviously it happens
a lot
more often than you would ever think of. Just ask because cosplayers will love to take a picture with you.
Random pictures of your butt on the internet.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I don't go looking, so I didn't
look. A friend of mine recognized my butt and pointed it out to me.
Wait,
it's like, oh,
does a video count? If somebody took a video,
videos, yes,
oh yeah, that happened.
100% counts.
Okay, so yes, because I was at a con and we were seeing Baby Got Back, and me and another friend decided to dance and show off her booties.
It's one thing if you're deliberately exhibiting your butt, but this guy
followed
me around the con taking pictures of my butt.
Don't
a lady
do that.
No, it was a dude.
Oh, okay, that's not cool.
Also, can we talk? Okay, this was a thing back when I was younger and way more into anime, but like the yaoi paddleboard and that was a thing, and then the whole, what was it? And then free hugs, all these hug signs and all that stuff. That's all well and good. That's fine. Having a sign is great because it's hello, I am broadcasting that I want to hug you or I want a hug. That's perfect. But do not touch people. Just don't touch people either without their consent. Don't do it. It's assault. I'm really glad to see this really big movement. Cosplay is not consent. It's out there now and people are speaking up way more about it. But I think thinking back to the older conventions, a lot of this stuff happened way more often probably that then got reported and people just swept it under the rug. That's this whole Vic Mignogna, that guy. the anime
Yeah, Vic.
Seiyu guy, voice actor guy. I said Seiyu. Like he's gotten into hot water because of all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, don't touch people without their consent.
It's not that hard.
It
It
wouldn't
really
be that
isn't.
hard.
I think for some people, and this is okay. This is one of my biggest beefs with conventions, and like, not to say there's anything like socially awkward people. Like all of us have been there at some point, and like we deal with awkward situations in different ways. But like, if it does seem like in especially anime conventions, and smaller localized conventions of fandoms, like supernatural conventions, you know, smaller cons, like it does seem to attract people who don't understand these kind of concepts, you know, and like that kind of stuff happens a lot more often in smaller cons, but also a lot in bigger cons too. Like, and you can get away with it in bigger cons because there's so many freaking people around. So like,
run away.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone want to share a story like in that vein?
I have one, not one where my consent was, well, sort of, not one where my consent was taken, but I was cosplaying Poison Ivy, and my sister was Harley Quinn. Now, of course, in the comics, they're like a couple. It's very well known that they're a couple, but we were sisters, like in real life. So obviously, we weren't being coupley at the con,
right?
But so there was a guy who was nicely asked, "Hey, can I take your picture?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we just like, you know, did kind of a cute like little pose and took a picture. That he's like, "All right, now get closer." So we're like, "Okay." So we got like a little bit closer, and he's like, "Now can you like cuddle?" And we were like, "No."
Like, no.
And he was like, "Come on, they're a couple in the comics. Can't you just cuddle a little bit? We're sisters." He's like, "Oh, that's even better." And we were like, "No, thank you." And we just started walking away. And he's like, "Whatever."
Great.
And we're
example.
just like,
so, you made this
what not
really
to do. Like don't ask people to act out your fantasies. Like they're real people that are in these outfits. Like, stop. That's so creepy. Don't do it. Because people who are couples cosplay siblings or vice versa. Like this kind of stuff happens all the time. Like me and my ex-husband cosplayed Buffy and Giles. Because he's like, yeah, I like Giles the best. So I'm going to be Giles. And I was like, okay, I have a Buffy costume, so let's do it. And like, it was funny because he got mistaken for the 11th Doctor way more. Like no one knew he was Giles. I was standing next to him as Buffy, very obviously, and they're like, "Cool, Buffy," and Matt Smith, 11th Doctor. I'm like, sure, sure.
He should have worn more tweed.
He had an entire tweed jacket with the. He looked like Giles. Like he had the whole thing.
He looked like
glasses.
Giles.
He's like
the whole. Did he have a book? Did he have a vampire book?
He did not, but he was standing next to me. Yeah, that's the part where I don't understand. I'm like, he's flipping Giles. He's flipping Ripper, man. Come on. Okay, it wasn't Ripper. He was Giles, but still. Anyway, I feel like someone had didn't somebody have a story they wanted to share?
I have one.
Okay.
I had a guy reach up my skirt at a con and grab my ass.
Did you know who it was? Like, did you know who he was, or he was a stranger?
No, I was giving out prizes, and when people were turned around, he reached under my skirt and fondled my butt.
So, can I ask you, what happened after that?
Like,
I know, because it's scary. Like, it's like you're being violated. It's horrible.
He just quickly zipped off because people were leaving the room at the time because people were handing out the prizes, and so he just went ahead and just dipped. Before because at first I was just like, maybe it was an accident or something, but no, like he went up my skirt to grab my butt because I wasn't wearing a very provocative outfit. I was dressed as, what's her name? It was Gadget Gal from the Awesomes. It's an old lady that she gets zapped with a rejuvenation ray, and so she's like this 80-year-old woman in a 20-year-old body. and
okay.
she, like, her main weapon is a hairdryer.
And it
That's
was
cute.
also a tight space where the guy was too, so I think that's why you initially thought.
Yeah, because like
that-
everybody was shuffling around, like people were bumping me, but I realized afterward, like after like everything registered, that to touch my bare butt, he would have had to reach under my skirt.
Yeah, that's literally sexual assault.
Yeah, and we
Yeah,
and,
I'm sorry that happened to you because
yeah, and we
that's
didn't
really
know what it
scary.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no way for us to figure it
who
out.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a panel we were hosting, so that sucks.
I'm so sorry. And like, I mean, this goes without saying, but like, viewers don't do that, obviously. But like,
Right.
I like giving our experiences like this because it humanizes victims of this kind of crime, right? It's just like, hi, like I'm not here for your consumption. So yeah, so that's interesting because I feel like that blends seamlessly into our next con of cons, and that is sexism and misogyny. Thundercrack, lightning strike.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's like it's horrible, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that are tired of hearing about it, but it's like woven into the fabric of society, and we have to do so much work to disentangle it, get it away, and then burn it forever. And yeah.
Dude, do you know how many, like, the whole gamer girl stereotype is because girls aren't supposed to be gamers?
Right.
Because why? Because we can't hold a joystick, like what?
Mm-hmm.
But
I partially
But-
marketing because they were heavily marketed to boys, but
yeah,
like
That's
Which
still
is also
sexist.
dumb.
how many games you've played and how many like kill shots, headshots you do, you're a girl. You shouldn't be here.
I won't play online with the headset. I won't do it.
Yeah.
In a con setting too, like, I mean, the gamer gatekeeping culture comes out in full force at conventions. I mean, like tabletop. Yeah. Like
I
it's
had a
there.
guy that vehemently disagreed with me that the Nintendo Entertainment System was the original Nintendo. And he told me that because I was a girl, I didn't know any better.
Like,
It
they
was-
know we
The
can read,
Super
right?
Nintendo was
Like-
the original.
No, it's called Super Nintendo, you idiot. Oh my gosh.
Like even if you're just going by the American ones, no. If you're including the Japanese ones, like the Famicom, no.
Famicom. Like, good God, these people.
Wait, doesn't the Super Nintendo like stand up or something, or like it's like you have to? It's the cartridge. Is
It's
different,
like
right?
the carton goes on up. Does the carton go up top in the Super
So
Nintendo?
in the Super Nintendo, they changed where the cartridge goes because the way that it slid into the original Nintendo, it actually did damage to the circuit board. That little
Mhm.
lever action, which you can do a mod nowadays so that doesn't do that, but it would put stress on the board. So they switched it also because it had a flat top on the original. People were using it to like put drinks on, and it was causing damage to it. So they made it where you couldn't stack things on top of it by having
Okay, that-
Why would you put a drink on your console? No.
People are
dumb.
What is wrong with you?
Like, are you
It was the early
crazy?
days too, so like people
Yeah.
didn't understand.
So you guys know that I'm a huge Zelda fan,
Mhm.
kind of nerdily so. I was wearing like a Link onesie to a con, and I was in the game. No, I was in the vendor's room, and I was just like looking at a poster or something. And a guy comes up to me and is like, "Hey, you're dressed as Link." I was like, "Well, I'm wearing a onesie, but okay." And he was like, "What's your favorite game?" And they just start this like this. I was like, "Well, I've been playing Breath of the Wild a lot, but my very first one that I played like all the way through by myself was Ocarina of Time." And he's like, oh, so you've played some of the older ones. Have you played this game? Have you played that game? Have you played this game? Have you played that game? I'm like sitting here like, yeah. And if I haven't, like, what does it matter? Like, leave me alone.
like if they're actually genuinely interested, like if they're trying to have a conversation about those games, it's a totally different tone.
Right.
And there's like prove that you're really a fan. I don't believe you.
Do you just like the Link aesthetic? Have you just played Breath of the Wild? It annoys me that people don't like to count Zelda fans that just have played Breath of the Wild. It's the latest one that's come out. Leave them alone.
And also, you don't have to be a diehard fan of something to play it and enjoy it.
Right. We're here because we like nerd stuff. Like, just to let us like what we like.
Well,
you don't need to know everything about everything.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Like that's my question is, what are you getting at, bro? So, okay, one of two things. Are you quizzing this person to prove she's a true fan, and then what? Are you going to shoot your shot? No, you're going to be like, okay, well, we'll see you later, and run away because you're a coward. Number two, even if she passes your freaking purity test, she's not going to want to be anywhere near you because you're a jerk. Like, what is your end game here? I know what the end game is, to feel superior to a woman. That's the end game, because they have literally nothing else. They can't feel superior to any man because they've probably been bullied their entire lives for liking weird stuff, right? Like,
same.
I know, and I'm like, yeah, me too. And I don't go around quizzing people about their freaking knowledge. Who cares? I've watched a lot of TikToks on this subject because it makes me laugh. And one of the ladies on TikTok was like, yeah, I've to deal with this kind of stuff in public. And so, like, in a con setting, she's like, yeah, I just if they say, oh yeah, like name, 3 games, just say no and walk away. Just be like, no, and leave. Like, don't entertain their BS for a second. And they do not know what to do when you do that. They're just like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought he was just gonna talk to me about Zelda, which
right.
Like, I will talk to you about Zelda. And then he like started quizzing me, and I'm like sitting here like, like, are you trying to see if I know what Zelda is? Because I do. Like,
I don't get it.
Did he ask you if Zelda was the princess or the character?
He did not do that to me.
I guess because you were dressed as Link.
Thank God.
Like, you had a Link onesie on, so it's like, yeah.
I think I said something about, I really like Link. Like, he's my favorite character, as dumb as that is.
No, it's not.
I just like the idea of going around with a sword and hitting things, okay?
And screaming. It's great.
It's great. Like, that's what I like.
He's like this cryptid.
I have a T-shirt that says Link's Lawn Care Service, rupees accepted, with the sword.
Okay, that's really good. That's there's something so like, and this all ties into like sexism and misogyny in in con settings. And obviously I was going to say, like, obviously racism plays a huge factor in like the bad things of conventions. But since we all have white privilege, we can't really speak on our experiences. But if any of our viewers want to talk about it in the comments, we'd love to hear experiences. Please. Or not, because it's not anybody's responsibility to educate other people. They can go find that information on their own and get better.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge that is totally a thing. That is totally real and is very much a negative of con and basically nerd culture in general. But culture in general. But
obviously, I haven't experienced it, but I have observed it. Where like, they cosplay a white character, they get chewed out. Like, that's not their race.
Right?
It doesn't matter. Like, it's the character that they love, and
I love
like a perfect cosplay, like every stitch to a T. And it's not good enough.
I love that where I love that TikTok where it goes, Hinata isn't black.
I love it so much because it's just like, yeah, well, she's gonna be black today, and it's like, yes, yes, because it doesn't matter. And like, again, it's that purity contest thing and gatekeeping. It's like, you don't need to be perfect to enjoy yourself and enjoy cosplay. Like, imagine what it would be like to walk around a convention like harshly judging everyone you see. That's exhausting.
For real.
Like, and also, why do you care? Like,
It can't feel
what in your life is
superior if they don't
missing?
put other people down.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And I think, like, as a community, as a cosplay and fandom community, we should all band together and shun them.
Well, here's the thing.
Just anytime it happens, just be like, rah!
We are already, as
No!
nerds, we have grown up and like been weird wherever we are, like just for liking the things that we like. Can we not have like any more of that? Like in our space?
Yeah.
Can we just be nice to each other? Because I don't know. Sometimes I think like as a woman, like people will see like a pretty girl and just be like, oh, she's not a real nerd because there's no way she wasn't bullied as a kid and blah, blah, blah. Honey, trust me. Mm-hmm. If you're weird, you're weird. They don't like you. The people don't like you.
Right.
The normies don't like you.
It's incredibly easy to be bullied. Hello. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like or where you come from. Someone's going to bully you at some point.
Also, I promise you, as a teenager, I did not look like this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Teenage hormones do not make face pretty.
Mm-mm.
It's interesting. And like, and this kind of ties into it a little tiny bit, but like, what about creepers at cons? That's a huge problem. I know we've all had issues with that. And like, my creepdar is so, like, I have an itchy trigger finger of being like, get away from me. Like, I don't entertain anything anymore. I'm just like, even the slightest bit of this is weirding me out, I'm going to call them out, which is not a great thing. And I need to like fix, my reaction time to that. Because sometimes people are just neurodivergent. Yeah. Some people are just neurodivergent and awkward and like don't know how to talk to other people. And I don't want to be a jerk, but like, you can usually, what? You have a story?
So remember when I cosplayed Fluttershy and it was really fun? Well, when I was cosplaying Fluttershy and it was really fun, some guy came, I don't know, yes, a brony, but came up to me and my sister who was cosplaying, who is she? Pinkie Pie. And it was adorable. It really was. But he was like, hey, I have a picture of your character. Do you want to come see it? And of course, we were like, yeah, that sounds so fun. Because he was like, I drew it. And it was porn.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
And we were like, wow, that's nice. Thanks. So we kind of backed away slowly. Like,
how old were you?
I was probably like in my very early 20s, and my sister was a minor.
Oh,
like she was like she's like 6 years younger than me, so she was like 16 at the oldest. Yeah, like so we just kind of like backed away slowly, and we're like, okay, thanks.
That is what?
Technically illegal.
The drawings were good, though. To be fair,
it's technically illegal to have shown to a minor, so he did.
Yeah,
like the crime.
Also, kind of read the room. So, like when you're talking to someone, it's kind of like, maybe don't show them your brony porn. That should just be a rule of thumb.
Like, I was kind of giving the benefit of the doubt that he was just like honestly interested in like our our cosplay. Yeah. Really just was like trying to share his interests and show his actually decent art. But like, I didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
I didn't consent to that. I consented to seeing a picture. Like, I didn't consent to seeing idols. You know what I mean?
Interested in that kind of image, he would have said so before showing you.
Right.
So now when people ask you, do you immediately say, is it porn before?
Actually, I don't. I generally like. I'm kind of naive that way. I'm just kind of like, hey, yeah, I'll come look at your picture.
See, I feel safer at cons in general than like in the general public. So I get tunnel vision where I'm not as aware of like my surroundings or potential threats as I normally would be. Because like if I'm out and about in like just the regular world, I will pick up on if I have somebody like following me. Like if I'm driving, if I notice a car behind me, I'll notice that. At a con, not really. Because like
I'm the
I have my
exact
booth, I
opposite.
have my home base, I have my friends. I feel safe.
Yeah. No, I think I've just had so many experiences over the course of. I mean, like I said, like I think the first con I ever went to was 2002 or 2003 or something. Like it was a million years ago, and I was absolutely a minor. I was in high school at the time, and like growing up from there and going to conventions regularly almost every year, if not every year after that, like it, I just got used to creepers. And like, so I'm the opposite. Like I'll walk around the convention and like be kind of a little bit alert to other people too. And like kind of watch, this happens all the time. Like you see like a person who's in like a revealing costume. And it's like, I almost like if I'm in their vicinity, I watch to make sure they're okay. Because people will take advantage of that and do horrible things. So I'm just kind of like, if I'm in their vicinity, I'm watching like, you all right, girl? You all right, sir? You all right, they? You know, like, you know, ladies and ladies. And yeah, I'm like, are you all right? Okay. You all right, pal?
Not necessarily a super negative thing about con, but you know, there's always this interesting thing when you're walking into a convention or you're outside of a convention in your costume, and the normies are like, "Is it Halloween? Are you having Halloween early?" And you're like, "Have you not seen 10,000 other people dressed up? Like, where are you?" Or if they're in the cosplay, like the con hotel, they'll be like, what is happening? And they'll find somebody that is in costume, but not as much as other people to ask.
Yeah. They're like, this
Someone
person
looks
seems safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll just like look at it. Usually I'm the one, as socially awkward as I am, I don't mind yelling at people that I don't know because like I don't have to talk to them.
Right.
I'm not trying to make friends, so I don't care. So I'll be like, it's a convention. I see them like giving this look like.
What does that mean? Like convention for what?
I'll be like, it's a convention. It's happening over there. You're not invited.
I will say I don't really encounter that too much being in New Orleans. Like whatever con is happening, like we don't really get it as much because it's so common to see people in costume all the time.
Actually, when I first moved here, I get it all the time because everybody. I first moved to this area and like didn't matter what event I was doing, we were like wearing something, and someone goes, and I think it was like summer, and someone's like, "It's not Halloween," and then one of my friends next to me goes, "Halloween's for amateurs," and just kept walking, and I was like, and so that's what I say every time: Halloween is for amateurs.
You're like,
For real.
it's like that's a good motto.
Yeah, so I use it for anything, anytime anybody sees anything in this, but it's usually tourists who ask that question.
Mhm.
So you have normies and then you have tourists.
Yeah.
So it's you never get a local asking that because they're like, you get a local asking, what event is it? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's happening. Like cab drivers and like Uber drivers are like, oh, what are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing? Where do I go? What's gonna have traffic? Like you always get people, or can I come too? You know, like so it's just yeah. So I just thought that was funny. Halloween is for amateurs.
It is for amateurs. My first conventions were in Ohio because I wasn't in New Orleans yet. And so the hotel that we got was like a few blocks away. It was in the winter and we didn't want to have to store our coat somewhere. So I was wearing poison ivy, like walking down the street with no coat. And it was like 15 degrees outside. By the time I got to the convention, my skin was red because it was so cold. It was okay though. It was fine. It was fine. But it's so funny because we literally, just my sister and I, because there wasn't anybody else on the street, literally stopped traffic. People would like park, they would like pull over and like roll down their windows. Like multiple people would be like, "What's going on? What are you doing? Where's your coats? What's going on?"
And you're like, hey guys, can you stop doing that? We got to get to the convention. We're freezing.
We're like, we're really cold. Can I have your picture? Can I get a picture of you? You guys look really good.
Guys are turning blue and shivering. Just, sure.
They're like, I'm really cosplay accurate right now. I kind of, you know what though? Good on them for asking.
Yeah,
They
some
did
of them would
ask.
just take a picture. So some of them, I did have people on the street just start to take a picture of me. So my sister and I would immediately like make a weird face, like just to ruin their picture. Like, don't take a picture of me; it's rude.
So,
But yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say my interactions with the normies. I tend to cosplay characters with weapons, especially my American McGee's Alice as the giant vorpal blade, and I happen to have a very nice one made from Japanese steel.
Cool.
But yeah, so I had two different interactions that didn't go so well with the normies. I got on an elevator, and this woman and her friend were staying in the hotel for other reasons, and we're riding the same elevator. And this woman goes bug-eyed, cowers in the corner, and like just backs away from me until she cannot back away anymore. I'm not acting violent. Like, I mean, I've got blood stains on my dress. I've got a big
Oh, that's
knife,
funny.
but I'm not in any way acting aggressive towards her. Like, I'm trying to be like overly friendly. And her friend starts talking to me, and she's like, "Don't engage."
That's funny.
Like, her friend totally gets it. She's like, "Oh, hey, your costume looks great. Like, did you make that yourself?" I'm like, "Well, no, I added some paint, blah blah blah." And just shipper conversation. And this woman's just like,
It's like, dude, like it's not real.
right. She calmed down because like I saw her again. I got in the same elevator later in a different costume.
Oh no!
And it was like a lot more casual of a costume, like it looked just like workout gear. And so she's like, "So, you got rid of the blood and the knife, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, I usually wear 4 or 5 different things to a convention." She's like, "Good."
Oh my goodness.
That lady must have seen some stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on in her life, but she must have gotten stabbed by a sword or something.
That's, oh,
Yeah, same
something was triggering them.
different con. I had a woman, like, this woman had this young child with her, and the kid sees me and goes up to me, and she's like, "I like your dress." I'm like, "Thank you." And the mom's just like trying to get me, "Okay, let's leave." And she
Oh my
looks at my
goodness.
dress, and she goes, "You've got red on you." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." She's like she just kind of stares at him like, "I was painting the roses red." She's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Thank goodness you had a canon response.
And that's my go-to excuse with children because like they see the blood, they're just like, I'm like, "I was painting the roses red and I got messy." That's what the apron's for.
No, that's brilliant. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's my
That's
go-to
cute.
with kids if they get like upset by the blood stains. I'm like, "I was just painting the roses red."
That's cute. I think.
But yeah, the parent was very happy with my canned response.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, good. Yeah, I don't want to explain to her that this character murders people, like that's or murders creatures and there's blood and it's too
Yeah.
much. Oh, I don't know. Like, I will say, well, sometimes like we talked in the last, like in the pro con, the Grin Con episode, we were, like the good things about like people staying in character. But sometimes when they're cosplaying people that are jerks and they use it to be a jerk, it's like, no, you're still in public.
I got one.
Huh.
I got one. Oh, okay. So this was at the Georgia one, and somebody was cosplaying. Alice will remember this guy. Was cosplaying what God damn it, Jessica Jones. What's the Murdoch? Was Daredevil, and
Yes.
he was pretending to be blind and had a cane, and he would
Oh,
bump
I know who
into
you're talking
pretty girls. He did it to me, and I wasn't even dressed like I wasn't even like dressed like I mean like Iris. I wasn't like in something really skinny or anything. I was like I was showing off my curves, but I was like in a tank top and like shorts. I wasn't even cosplaying yet. But he bumped into me a few times, and I was like, "Oh, really good cosplay." And I don't think he touched me or anything. But later, I started seeing him do it to other girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I think Alice has the rest of the story. Weren't you there when he kept doing it?
Yeah, so he kept bumping into other girls, and like as the night went on, he got a little more bold about it. And so he ended up getting reported to con staff, and they evicted him. And he tried to come back the next day, but they took his badge because like he was just being
creepy.
Yeah,
like
creepy term, but
like using it as an excuse to touch people. That's not
right. He didn't. I didn't even think anything of it. I just thought, oh, okay, you're just being really like. I thought it was like method. That's fine.
Yeah,
he didn't
that
touch.
Murdoch doesn't bump into people.
I was gonna say that. That's not even.
Extra sensitive.
I was like, that's not even freaking canon, dude.
Right. Well, it didn't even occur to me that I just was like blind person, Matt. Like I was like, okay. But I was also a little intoxicated, and I wasn't dressed that.
Provocatively.
Like,
right.
And I don't even think he grabbed anything, but he did do it a few times. And then finally finally I think our group moved away because we're like, that guy's being creepy. And we moved away. And then I heard this story the next day, and I was like, oh, so he did do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad the Matt Murdoch that I ran into was nicer than that, because like, yeesh. No, thank you. That's awful.
Cosplayers.
The Georgia Con is really good about getting rid of people. Like if people are inappropriate, they yank them out. It's so many people at that con.
Yes, see something, say something.
We have a horrible story about misogyny, sort of, and toxicity at con. We have a friend who's a trans woman, and we were at a con. And we were really excited. It was like after we had taken off our costumes, we were going to go in the hot tub at the hotel. And we're just kind of passing by, and a man, stopped us and like to talk to us because pretty girls probably. And he just like stopped us. Looks at Alice, basically says would bang, looks at me, says would bang, and looks at our trans woman friend and says, and that's a guy.
I kind of
and I am not a very confrontational person. I'm just like I
was inebriated enough I didn't care. I just laid into him.
Nice.
Like,
what did you
say?
I
said that you're screwable. I'm like, I don't care.
Like, are you missing the point? That's extremely offensive,
I don't
stupid.
That a compliment, sir.
Yeah.
Also, you could have gotten him banned too. So always remember that.
We were too busy.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
We were too busy trying to take care of our friend.
Yeah,
we were trying to take care of our friend because we were
devastated. Just
right.
We were having
of course.
A good night, and he just tried to ruin it. It made me mad.
Like the fact that he thought, and this is where the disconnect happens, I think, with like cishet men and women. Period. Like all like women, is that they like he thought you got mad because you misunderstood him or something. He's like, no. I said that I would have sex with you,
and I was mad because of my own vanity.
It's like, are you? I mean, like, how stupid are you? like besides that being completely inappropriate, like, I'm not mad at. Also, like, you're walking in a group of people. We're all friends. What is wrong with you? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
By the thought that I might have misunderstood his desire for me.
That he completely misgendered a freaking person.
His insult towards my friend and upsetting my friend. Like, no, I don't get upset for myself. I get upset for everyone else.
That's a really good example of how, and I think we may have discussed this a little bit, but and this is something that's being discussed in the world now, and I'm really glad it is, how particularly men, but most people, how your physical attractiveness changes the way they treat you.
Yeah.
So like right then and there, like, is a really good example, because he viewed your trans friend as a subhuman. It's just like, oh, I can say whatever I want to that person because XYZ. And it's just like, no, dude, no, like that's never, ever okay.
Yeah, it was devastating. And she was devastated.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, I thought I looked really good today. And we're all like, you do.
You do. Don't let, yeah, no.
No, she's beautiful. Yeah, that was just.
No, she is. Oh my God, she is gorgeous.
Yeah, especially I forget what all out. Like she was in a swimsuit because we're all in swimsuits, but like
yeah, we were going to hot tub. We were all wearing like cute bikinis or whatever. It wasn't.
Yeah. I think like a good takeaway from this episode, and like probably a lot of our episodes, are just like call people out as you know, call people out on bad behavior, and also teach. Let's like as a society teach boys and young men to be better, so they can grow up into like respectful, great men instead of what we deal with now.
It's society has taught. I mean, women too just internalize misogyny. It's the society that we live in. He could, like, that man in theory could have been a decent human being in other aspects of his life. Surely don't know, because now I think he's a scumbag.
Right.
But
well, he acted like a scumbag, so.
He has no other redeeming qualities. They have ceased to exist by that one interaction.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if he can say that to complete strangers, how do you think he treats people in his own life that are intimate with him?
Right, just like, disgusting.
I don't know. I think what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
It's so easy to, like, in hindsight, be like, well, if somebody misgenders you, just misgender them back. Like, say, like, okay, ma'am, but to him. But it's not like at the moment when something bad like that happens to you, like, my thought was, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that. And like, I need to like take care of my friend. Let's get her out of this situation was my first thought. Alice is going off on the man because that's her first instinct. I'm like,
and then I dig, and then I chew, and I eviscerate them.
I love it.
AC hears about it like 5 minutes later, and it's like, let's go find him and get him kicked out of the con. And that's her first interaction. You guys are stuck. You could have gotten him kicked out of con. And I was like, that's not what I was thinking about at the time. But you're right.
I love all three reactions are so different. You're like, okay, immediate caretaker. Okay, conquer, destroy. Okay, then also get kicked out.
Yeah, so AC's was the most pragmatic, but you know.
I have powers, therefore I'm going to use it. I am staff. So
that's good long-term thinking. That was good long-term thinking.
y'all were the guy away by just chewing him out.
Y'all were the helpers.
Find him. Yeah.
Oh,
he ran away after I chewed him out.
Of course he freaking ran away. Like, I think
he's very scary when I desire to be.
And the description of him was just so generic guy at con.
He was a white dude, like about 50 years old at a con.
Wearing a Hawaiian shirt, I think y'all told me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And that's everybody.
I think like, so that's a really good example. Like, in case anyone is wondering, like anyone who's watching this video is wondering, like, oh, well then what could I have said? You know, obviously what that guy said was horrible, but like, if you're still not sure, and you're a man and you're still not sure what is the appropriate way to compliment a woman, in that particular case, either just smiling and going about your day, that would have been appropriate, or saying, hey, you guys look like you're having fun, have a great night, that's completely appropriate. Anything that, usually the best rule of thumb is don't comment on people's bodies or things that they cannot control. Like that's just them, like, you know, but if they have a really cute dress on, you'd be like, hey, great dress, and then have a great day. The point of the compliment is to make them feel good, not you. So, you know, yeah.
If you would want someone to say it to you, why would you say it to someone else? Like, it's like men forget, not men necessarily specifically, but you know, it's like people that are having these weird interactions with women, mostly just because we're women. Like, forget that you're a human being with like a life and like thoughts and feelings. Like, I don't want you to be like, hey, nice, but like gross, leave me alone.
It's gross.
Go ahead.
Go away.
I think that people, like men like that, the reason they have such a problem with gay men is they're afraid of being treated the same way that they treat women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because again, it's internalized misogyny and internalized hatred of anything feminine or it's no, I mean that's exactly what it is. Or like regarding femininity and feminine qualities as lesser than instead of equal to. Like because that's the thing. We're all made up of both. Everyone has masculine, and I have to use air quotes because it's it's subjective, right? Masculine and feminine qualities. That's called being a freaking human.
Dude. And just because you're a woman that has masculine interests does not make you masculine or better than any other woman. Like
correct.
And just because you're a man with feminine interests does not make you less than. I mean, come on, like cute maid cat dresses are cute.
Yeah,
please wear them.
Yes,
I love.
And like just that had the maid dress.
Yes, he's the best.
So cute.
Like, and also, guys, like, look into makeup. Just
it's fun.
Look into makeup. You will not believe how popular you will become with women if you're straight. Like, it's so hot.
Isn't there a makeup line by some guy that came out with guy makeup or something recently?
I don't know, but well, hopefully it's not Jeffree Star.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Big no. But
I don't know. I just remember hearing something.
Guy makeup?
I kind of hope not. I don't think makeup should be gendered.
Yeah.
No, they were advertising it as, and I forget, it didn't. Yeah, it was weird. I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, what are we talking about?
I don't like that. If that's a thing, I don't like that. Makeup shouldn't be gendered.
Makeup gurus are kind of problematic. I mean, not to say that the female ones aren't problematic either.
Yeah,
they're all problematic.
I see the drama from the outside. Like I have like YouTubers that they do like pieces on like certain things, like, and so they do pieces on these YouTubers, and so I just sit there with my popcorn watching the drama from afar.
I love it.
Dude,
it's good.
A lot of these YouTubers do things that are problematic, and like they're all problematic. Let's be honest.
We look to be included.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So would y'all say we did the thing?
I think we did the thing.
I hope we did the thing.
I feel like
maybe we did the thing.
Did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
go with it.
So I'm gonna say that I think we made this uncomfortable world a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. So like if you did, share if you think you should, and subscribe if you want to live. Just kidding. All right. Thank you. Bye.